The prisoners arrived here by foot. They came from other camps and other sites by train about 2 kilometres away, and then they were made to walk here, and they would have arrived at these gates, which are not original, but this is a replica of the fence that would have been here. Unfortunately, because many of them had been transferred prisoners from the camps, they had already lost a vast proportion of their body weight and were down to 40 kilos or less. And a lot of them did not survive the 2 kilometre trek from the Ramp train station. So unfortunately, they never made it this far. They either died en route or they were shot if they fell, and were buried along the sides of the road. There's a group just going down for a walk through the grounds now. There are no buildings left here, it is just a memorial. There is actually a model of the campsite.
Create a circle around it and make it an intelligent circle, please. Short.
I'm here in the grounds of Bergen Belsen. The mound you can see in the background there is a mass grave. I'm absolutely surrounded by mass graves here. The area that I'm in at the moment is actually a cemetery, but it's not actual gravestones marking graves. I mean, they are gravestones, but they don't mark graves. They're marking just the life of the person that is being memorialized, is that the right word? By the, do you know, it's quite overwhelming, I have to say. These people, they weren't necessarily Jewish, although we tend to think of them as Jewish. They could be gay, they could be political prisoners. There's a gentleman here, for instance, who was a Belgian, only a young man. He died on the 21st of February 1945, just before the liberation in April. He was one of these ones that was transferred from another prison. He didn't survive the transfer. It actually says on his memorial stone here that he died during the transfer, or deportation if you like, to Bergen Belsen on the 21st of February. He's a Belgian gentleman and he's marked with a cross, so presumably he was a Christian. A lot of the prisoners weren't necessarily Jewish in that they practiced the Jewish faith. It could have just been that their grandparents were Jewish, and apparently Himmler said that he was the one that decided if somebody was Jewish or not, which I think is just so shocking. There's been some cross-culturalisation going on as well. You can see some pebbles on the top of this gravestone. That is a Jewish tradition, and a lot of the mass graves actually have these pebbles marked on there, which people leave as a sign of eternity, that they're going to be remembered for eternity. People were forced to wear the yellow star if they were deemed to be Jewish, but also they were forced to wear a pink star if they were deemed to be homosexual, and a red star if they were political prisoners. Some political prisoners were also deemed to be homosexuals, and in that case they had a red star with 1745 sewn underneath it, which was the article number in the, I think it's the Nuremberg laws, which said that it was illegal to be that way. I just find that this is... We never learn though, do we? We still persecute people. I don't want to go into a great diatribe now, but I am finding this place extremely moving. Also, it's rather shocking that occasionally in the background I can hear gunfire and like shots going off, and that's because the whole area is surrounded by training camps for the military, not only the German military but also the Dutch and the French. It has an eerie quality about it, this place, I have to say. There we go. I think this needs no introduction at all. This was the commemoration of the fact that Anne and her sister Margot were killed here at Bergen Belsen.
By March 1945, both of Dreyfus. That's at least what we think. And the topic itself is by reading the Advent Diary or nowadays like listening to it or.
This is the House of Silence. It's built in the form of two triangles, the triangle being the symbol adopted as basically survival of the Nazi regime. Apparently, if people did survive, they quite often would sign their letters afterwards with the triangle at the end and their prisoner number. The SS only referred to people in the camp by their prison numbers, never by their names. When I go inside the House of Silence, I'm not actually going to say anything out of respect, but I'm just going to walk in now and give you a taste of what you can see inside. This is the memorial for the Polish prisoners that were here. Although it's a Christian cross, there are actually stones around the bottom of it. Those of you that know me know that I'm very interested in cross-culturalisation, and I can see that this is maybe making a bridge between Christians and Jews. Anyway, just my thoughts. This is the memorial wall, which has been built in commemoration of everybody that died here at Bergen Belsen. It's got inscriptions in lots of different languages.
You know, that was like more concrete.
I also think while I'm here about the young German soldiers that were here. They also must have been traumatised, and we don't really think about them. I'm sure some of them really didn't want to do what they had to do. There's another symbol of cross-culturalisation here, which we have the obelisk, which pops up in remembrance all over the world. We get obelisks on graves, obviously the Egyptian connection there with the obelisks.
Yes, so here we have
One of the memorial plaques here is actually in remembrance of all Jewish and non-Jewish Turkish citizens who were murdered in Bergen Belsen 1943 to 1945. I think that's quite striking. Murdered, yep, you can't describe it any other way. I, for one, didn't realise that there were Turkish prisoners here, but clearly there were. And in the background here again, we have all these mounds that are just the mass graves, where unfortunately the Allied troops had to literally bulldoze the corpses in when they liberated in April 1945 because of fear of typhoid.
Well, that is also my attempt. I think it's quite but of course
I don't know if you can actually read this, but it says here rests 5,000 people. April 1945, 5,000 people in this one grave, and there's literally, I don't know, 30, 40 of these graves. These are some of the Russian soldiers that were interred here. Not just soldiers, but also Russian nurses as well. This lady survived. In 1943, Bergen Belsen changed from a prisoner of war camp into a concentration camp. I've decided not to post any of the pictures of the people that kept here when it was a concentration camp because they really are just too distressing. This is the exhibition hall at Bergen Belsen. As I say, I've not posted the photos or the pictures of some of the victims because it really was just too distressing. Thank you for joining me on the visit here, and I'll just leave you with a shot of the grounds from the end of the exhibition. Hi everybody, I'm back on board now, and I've just reviewed the film that I made of Bergen Belsen. Doesn't get any better, I have to say. It's been quite a harrowing day, but it makes me very thankful for the life that I've got, and it's made me realise how things can really change in a nanosecond and what a very uncertain world that we live in. I just want to correct some of the information that I gave you. Right at the beginning, I mentioned about the different colour stars that people were wearing. It's actually the Jewish population that were wearing yellow stars. The others weren't stars, they were triangles, and they were upside down triangles. So they were base up, if you like, making it a weak symbol, whereas normally the triangle is a very strong symbol. Right, over and out. Hopefully my next post from this holiday will be a little bit more cheerful. However, I am going to eat on Friday, so maybe not. Anyway, have a great time, everybody, and take care. Enjoy your life. Bye now.